What's up guys, it's me again, Damien from Cool Mentors IT. Today we have a lot to talk about, so without any long intros, let's just jump into it. This video is a summary of knowledge you need to have to start creating your own websites. Today I'll be summing up some issues raised by me in my former videos. So if you watch me on your weekly basis, you should probably have some good point of view of what I'm about to talk. If not, don't worry, I'll try my best to explain everything from the scrap so you can catch up and easily follow me up. Also, I encourage you to watch my older videos where many topics may be explained better. First things first, where to write your code. Since our code is basically text, you can easily write it in every text editor, even in the notepad. Of course, nobody does that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But if you really want to write your code in the notepad, from the technical point of view, everything should work fine. Notepad or any text editor can read HTML, CSS and JS files with no problem. Of course, Notepad or any text editor won't get you any useful utilities like error displaying and syntax coloring. So the answer to our problems is the code editor. I recommend the one I'm using all the time, and it's Visual Studio Code. This code editor is made by Microsoft, it's free and convenient to use. It also has many professional solutions which will be useful for you in your later work as a programmer. Now the second issue we have to deal with. Where to put our code online. Let's say we made our first website and we want to put it online. Now we need two things. The first thing is the hosting, which is the space on some server to put our website files into. The second thing is domain, which is the address to our website. And we can get these two things with the OVH Cloud platform. OVH is an international web services provider where we can get our hosting with the domain in reasonable price. As well as we can get even dedicated server if we will need one in the future. You can also Google some places with free hosting for your website. But it's not recommended for the commercial purposes because these solutions have their limitations. Like displaying ads on your website or using your provider's subdomain. So it may be good for practice to put your code online and see how it works, but for the commercial purposes, it's always better to have paid hosting and domain.
Shut up and take my money.
Now what do we do when we have our hosting? We need a file commander synchronized with our hosting so we could easily send our website files from our hard drive to our server. And there are many programs which we can use to do so. I recommend the one I'm using all the time, and that is WinSCP. It's a simple, light and free file commander which you can download in no time. After configuration, it's very intuitive. On the left side we have files stored on our hard drive, on the right side we have files stored on our hosting, and we can drag our files back and forth all over the place. These of you who are a little bit older may remember this file commanding system from programs like Total Commander, which we can use today to put our files on our hosting as well, or even Norton Commander.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
And what when we don't have any hosting yet? We have two very comfy options at the beginning of our adventure with the web development. The first one is to work locally on your computer. The second one is to work with CodePen. I've been talking a lot about CodePen in my recent video, so if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Check it out.
Basically, it's a very useful tool which we can use to write our code directly in our browser and see an instant effect without downloading any additional software. But we can also write our code and keep the effect of our work on our computer. We can create a folder on our hard drive, create some HTML, CSS and JS files in it, and then open our HTML file in our browser. As you can see, I have a work folder on my desktop, so I'm gonna open it. And you can see I have my website files. This is the index.html, which is the main file of our website. I also have style CSS file right here and some picture put it on my website. And I can open it easily with my browser. My default browser is the Google Chrome. So I open it up just like this. And there we can see our website. This is a simple project I made just for some practice. And as you can see, the URL of our website is the path to our HTML file on our hard drive. You can also copy this URL and paste it into other browser installed on your computer, and the effect will be the same. So when I copy it and open another browser, we can see I can paste our URL, and voila, the effect is exactly the same. So as long as you work only with the front-end solutions without any server-side programming, you can use your own computer and a browser to simulate a server environment. Okay, so now I'll show you how to build our HTML file and what is the proper construction of it. Construction of the HTML. Every HTML file is built with the tags. Our main tag is the HTML tag, and as the most of the tags in the HTML language, it has its opening tag and the closing tag. Tag, 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 tag. In our HTML tag, we have to put two crucial parts of every HTML file, which are the head tag and the body tag. They also have their openings and closings. The head tag is not visible for the user. In this tag, we should place some information about our document for the browser and the search engines, as well as we can import some external files like our own CSS files or custom fonts for our website. On the other hand, the body tag contains the whole content visible for the user. It's the visual representation of our document displayed in the browser. The construction of the HTML document looks more or less like this. You can imagine it as a tree structure. The HTML tag is the trunk of our tree, its main pillar. Then it branches to the two fundamental tags, which are the head and the body. And these two tags create their own branches, and so on and so on. Now let's look into the example of the head tag. Before we put our HTML tag, we should always insert the self-closing doctype tag first. In this way, we inform the browser that it is dealing with an HTML file made according to the latest standards. Next, we should place the language attribute to our HTML tag. It informs the browser about the language used on our website. So when your browser's language is different than the language used in this website, your browser may ask if you want this website to be translated to your language. Now we should open our head tag, and the next thing we should do is to create the meta tag at the top of our head tag with the charset attribute and its value set to UTF-8. This meta tag is responsible for the character encoding. UTF-8 is a standard using every letter in English alphabet, but also diacritical marks for other languages. If you are German, French, Italian, Spanish or Polish, you know what I'm talking about. If you won't put this meta tag, your website might be not displayed properly, especially in the older browsers. The next thing we should put in our head tag is the title of our website. It's visible in our browsers tab and in the search results. It's also recognizable and may be positioned by the search engines. The head tag is also a place when we can import the external files into our document. Here you can see a link tag with two attributes. The rel attribute stands for relationship, and its value shows us it's a style sheet. The href attribute stands for hypertext reference, and its value is the path to our file with the CSS styles. We can also import our JavaScript file into our head tag. To do that, we need to place a script tag with the src attribute. The src stands for source of our file, and its value is the path to our file with JavaScript code. Now let's go to our body tag. As I said before, this is the part of our document displayed in the browser and visible for the user. There's no one correct way to build your body structure, so I'll just show you some basic example of how it can be done. First, we open our body tag. Then we create the header tag inside of our body. In a header tag, we can put an img tag, which stands for the image, so we can put a logo, for example. Our img tag has two attributes. The first one is src, which is the source of our image. The value of this attribute has only the name of our PNG file because the picture is in the same catalog as our HTML file. If it would be in a different catalog, the src value should be the path to our picture. So you can use whatever picture you want.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
The second attribute in our img tag is the alt, which stands for the alternative text. This attribute is recommended to inform our browser and the search engines about what's in the picture. This text may also appear for the user when our picture cannot be displayed. It's also very helpful for people with any sight disability, so they may know what's in the picture. In our header, we also have the H2 tag, which is the second degree heading. It may contain the name of our website or some kind of a slogan. Now we can close the header tag and open the nav tag, which stands for the navigation on our website. In the nav tag, we usually use the UL tag, which stands for the unordered list, so our navigation can have a nice list-based structure. In our list, we should use the LI tags, which are the list items. Next, we can have the article tag when we can place our article. And usually at the bottom of our website, we can place a footer tag, where we can put some info about the author, copyrights, and contact. At the end, we close our body tag, and that's all. This is how the structure of our website may look. And now you can see the tree model of our body tag. So the body tag is the trunk of a tree in this example, and it branches to 4 equally important elements: header, nav, article, and footer. Each of these elements can also branch to other elements as well. So we can see that in our header we have an IMG and H2 tag, and in our navigation we can have a div tag and unordered list, which can be branched to its list elements, etc. Only by making the HTML structure without specifying the visual layout of our website, the browser will display the effect of our work with no problem. That's because every browser has defined its own default display styles for every HTML tag. The browser defines the properties like font size, font color, type of element, which we will talk about, margins and paddings. And I'm gonna show you how this works in practice. What do we have here is an example of the HTML structure to show you the default styles of the browser. So let's focus on our body tag right here. What can we see at the top is the H1 tag, which is the first degree heading. Then we have the H2 tag, which is the second degree heading. Then we have H6 tag, which is the 6th degree heading. Then we have a P tag with some text, a span with some fragment of the text, and a strong tag with other fragment of the text. Then we have an article tag, and then we have our unordered list with the list elements, and we have the text in the B tag, in the I tag, and in the U tag. So now let's see our document in the browser. I'll split the screen into 2 halves. Open it with our live server. Put the effect on the second half of the screen, right here. And now let's see what we got. Let's scroll it down a little bit, just to see our body tag. And now we can see this is our H1 tag, which is the biggest one. Here we can see our H2 tag. The smallest one is the H6 tag. This whole text is our P tag. This is the fragment in the span tag, which we can see it's not different by any mean, but we can change the layout of this tag in CSS if we want. And then we see the strong tag, which is bold by default. This is our article tag, which looks exactly like the P tag. And now we have our unordered list, which is by default marked with those dots, which we can get rid of them. You can see also that UL tag has this indent by default. It's probably padding. Here we can see the text in the B tag, which is bold by default. Here we can see the text in the I tag, which is italic, Italian.
Buongiorno.
And the last one is the text in the U tag with the underline, which you can see right here. Now I want to say that those 3 tags are not recommended to use anymore because they don't have any semantic meaning. They only change the appearance of our text, and the best way to change the appearance is in the CSS. So we can leave the HTML tags only for the structure of our website. Now I want to show you what's gonna happen when we open our website in other browser. This is the same website opened in Microsoft Edge, and you can see it looks the same. That's because every modern browser has the same default styles. So this way we can build a website which will be displayed in every browser with no problem, thanks to default styles which every browser has. We can of course import our own styles, which will override default styles given by the browser to make our websites look beautiful.
It's beautiful.
With our own CSS styles, we can define the exact layout of our website just how we imagine. Good knowledge of CSS is crucial to be a front-end developer today, and it's surely useful in a daily work. We can put our CSS styles from the external file, or put them directly in our HTML document, or even straight to the element. Now let's talk about the hierarchy of the document object model. The document object model, known as DOM or DOM, is a model of our website created in a browser based on our HTML file. So you can imagine it as a visual representation of our website created with our HTML file as an instruction. We use DOM to easily find specific element in our website structure and give this element the style we want. So as you can see here, we can find li element, which is in the ul element, which is in the nav element, which is in our body. This structure is not defined by default. It was created by us in our HTML file, and now it has its representation in the document object model. And what do we need it for? We use it to find the specific elements on our website and give them our styles in CSS or manipulate them in JavaScript. Here you can see how to refer to every li element on our website and change its font size. But if you use this notation below, you can refer to only those li elements which are in the ul element, which is in the nav element. So it's like the reverse reading in some way. At the last example, you can see we can refer to span, which is an h2 element, which is placed in a header. Thanks to DOM, we can precisely indicate the path to the element which we want to style. And that's how we can use the document object model of our website. But how to find the element you're looking for? You can see it in your HTML file, which we can see on this example. Those nestings clearly shows us which elements are where and how to trace them. But you can also see it in your DevTools in the browser. There we have the example from before. We can open our DevTools with F12 key on our keyboard. And we can see it right here. We got the body. In the body we have the nav. Then we have the UL. Then we have the list elements. And then we have our anchor. So you can see those nestings in our DOM, just like in our HTML file. But below you can see the whole path leading to our element. We can see this is the A tag, in the LI tag, in the UL tag, in the nav tag, and the body of our document. So this is the end of the first part of our HTML beginner's guide. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see soon in part 2. And until this time, I wish you all the best. But if you like this video, click like. If you want to see me again, click subscribe. Don't forget the notification bell. If you have some questions, I'll be down in the comments to help you out. My name is Damien, this is Cool Mentors IT, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.